Hey everyone, today we're talking Ori and the Blind Forest. I played the definitive edition on the Nintendo Switch. So this game is very much a Metroidvania style game, which I've played a lot of lately. It seems like most independent games, well not most of the ones I play are of that genre, just because I happen to enjoy it a lot, so I'm attracted to those kind of games. And as far as those kind of games, this is definitely a very good one. The art style is quite beautiful. I was kind of surprised. I always saw the game and you see the two characters on the cover image, and it's kind of surprising that the main one you see is not the character you are and is not in much of the game. You're one of the two characters you see, but not the big one. So kind of interesting. The way that this game is done is very artful. The way the story plays out over time, and you find different aspects, and it'll display the words on the screen. It all feels like it's very well crafted. The story's nothing too deep, but it's kind of fun. It's got a fantasy element to it. You're in definitely like some kind of strange fantasy world with all new creatures. That part's really cool. The difficulty, I played it on normal, and I like the difficulty of this game. It was enough that I would get to areas and there'd be challenges every once in a while where I'd have to do things a few times before I could get through it, but nothing that I got stuck and frustrated at. The game reminded me a lot of Hollow Knight, which is another Metroidvania that I played a year or two ago, and I really liked that one a lot, except that one got really hard. This one, it has a lot of the same kind of moveset eventually. It never gets near that kind of difficulty level though, which I appreciated, because Hollow Knight, too many times I got stuck and I actually never finished the entire game just because I got tired of bosses that kept kicking my butt. One of the things that's interesting with this game is the save aspect. You can save when you want, but you have to have enough kind of energy built up to create save points. And when you're not really used to it, it is kind of frustrating actually, because you'll do things and not think about creating that save point and die and have to redo things. That part's pretty aggravating. But as you get further and you almost always have enough energy and you think about it, you'll remember to save at convenient points. So that helps quite a bit. As I said, the design of the game is really, really nice. The music is good, but mostly the aesthetics are quite pretty. Nothing looks quite like this game, so that's a definite plus. I like when things are more unique. And it's not a super long game. I played it when I had time throughout about 6 days, and I beat it. And I wasn't sitting down and playing it for like super lengthy periods at a time. I'd have to check my total game time on it, but I guess maybe 10 hours. And if you knew what you're doing and not taking the time to explore and find everything, you could definitely go through it faster. Occasionally I would get stuck and not know how to proceed, but there was never really a point where after just looking around I couldn't find something that would help me figure it out. You start off pretty limited like you do in most of these Metroidvania type games, and that part feels a little frustrating just if you know what you're getting into, because you know you're obviously like missing a wall jump and a double jump and being able to break through these kind of walls. Like, it's very obvious what you're not able to do, and you see it and you might get a little frustrated, and some of it takes longer to get those things than I would kind of like, but nothing to the point of like really being a negative. It's still very fun, and you can kind of keep in mind where those things are. And one of the things that you earn, this is kind of a bit like Hollow Knight as well, is I really like the map aspect of that game. And this it's not the same, but as you explore, the map is revealed, and then you'll find pieces that you could fit into stones that will reveal the entire area. There's 3 kind of tracks that you could power up on, and one of them, as you power up, will reveal more and more things on the map. So if that's something you want to focus on, you'll be able to use your ability points towards that, and eventually the map will become much more useful. And the ability points, if you're playing and trying to find them all like I was, you'll get everything by the end of the game. I had extra ability points by the time I finished it, so that was kind of nice that it never felt like too hard to gain those. You even will slowly gain ability just through defeating enemies and stuff. As far as kind of like bosses and stuff, that part is kind of interesting because like the big end of the game, and I think this happens a couple times where the bosses are mainly just you trying to get through something before like an environmental element or the boss catches up to you. So there's one point where you're in a tree and I think water's coming up the tree and you have to stay above that. There's the kind of boss is a giant owl and you have to keep moving as that chases you and that kind of thing. It's not like a combat oriented game. This is not like Dead Cells where you're getting all kinds of different combat methods. There's a few, and you kill creatures a lot, but it's never like super focused on that. It's more focused on the exploration. So if you haven't played it yet, I'd recommend it. I had never played the original. I was interested on the Xbox, but I never picked it up. They had a sale for it on Switch, so I decided to grab it. I don't know the difference between the definitive and the regular edition, aside from it sounds like maybe this one's expanded where there's more areas to explore, but I don't know that much about that aspect of it. I would recommend the game. I'd say it's definitely worth playing and you should get out there and do it. So I guess that's it. Bye.